Yo, what is up, guys? This is Biscuit, and yes, you heard the intro. I have not posted a video streamed. Well, I streamed like yesterday, two days actually ago. By the time this will probably drop or whenever it drops, but yeah, it's been a while since I posted. I posted something. I posted a little update video like back in December, like December 9th or whatever, pretty much saying the end of Biscuit. Like I kind of made it a little dramatic, but yeah, that's besides the point. But yeah, in this video, we're gonna be doing a good old fashioned NFL playoff rankings. I've I did this once, and I think I went perfect in the NFC because yeah, I think I predicted the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl that year, and that was the year that they made it. But I didn't predict the AFC right. It was the Chiefs, as per usual, making the Super Bowl. But yeah, so pretty much how I'm gonna do this, I'm just gonna pop up a bracket right here, or yeah, I'm just gonna pop up some bracket right here to show what it looks like. So we're gonna start in the AFC, and we will start with the Texans and the Chargers. So the Texans, how do I say this? They're kind of just a underwhelming team this year. Like I was expecting them to be Super Bowl contenders, and they barely limped their way into the playoffs. Like this year was bad for them. Um, CJ Stroud, I still think he's a good quarterback, but I don't know. He regressed a bunch this season. And yeah, now the Chargers side, they don't have many wide receivers, but I think Justin Herbert and what was it, coach Jim Harbaugh, I think they're gonna get it working. J.K. Dobbins, who has had a good year as well, Lad McConkey as well. So I think this is probably the easiest and safest. Well, I won't say safest, but this is probably the easiest pick of the whole entire video for me. I'm gonna go with the Chargers to beat the Texans. I'm gonna do score predictions. I'm gonna say they win 26 to 14. This is gonna be probably one of the easiest picks. Now, if the Texans somehow get hot at the right time and win, then yeah, I mean, I guess I was wrong. So yeah, I'll have the Chargers to win 26-14, and now we move on to the Ravens and the Steelers. So the Ravens, they Lamar is looking like an MVP now. There are a lot of people speculating or whatever that he was not the MVP last year, but he is now the MVP, at least in my opinion, this year. Because I mean, dude has 45 total touchdowns and only four picks. Like, if that's not MVP, I don't know what is. So Lamar, he's playing his best football in his career, and the only thing I feel like that could be concerning for this game for the Ravens is their defense and their wide receivers, because their wide receivers, I know they still aren't good. Even though Zay Flowers, who hit 1,000 yards this year, he's hurt, so I don't know if he'll be ready for this game or not. But but yeah, now Steelers side, Russell Wilson, he's been playing good, but they're on a big losing streak. They're on a 4 game losing streak, and one thing about the playoffs is you do not want to be heading into the playoffs losing. So even though the Steelers do have the Ravens number here, I'm gonna go with the Ravens to win. I'm gonna say 28-13. I'm gonna say 28-13. Ravens win, and they will advance to the next round, which now brings us into the Bills and the Broncos. The Broncos were able to manhandle the Chiefs in Week 18 with the Chiefs resting their starters. So yeah, Broncos Bo Nix, who he kind of surprised me. Like I didn't expect the Broncos to be this good this year. He definitely did surprise me. I know Sean Payton's a good coach because I mean he coached for the Saints, and yeah, we were good. So so yeah, I know. Well, yeah, Bo Nix is good. Sean Payton's good. Now they head into Buffalo though. Josh Allen, who's also playing like an MVP as well. Even though I don't think he's the MVP, but he is playing at like his career best. It's his career best. Like definitely. He has like, if I'm not wrong, about 40 touchdowns, I think, to like 6 picks. Yeah, I have it pulled up here, but yeah, I just had to add 28 plus 12. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's 40. Yeah, it is. So Josh Allen, James Cook, who's also good. So yeah. So this pick, I'm gonna pick Buffalo to win. Now, some people are thinking this could be a blowout. Some people might be thinking it's a blowout, but I have this game being a lot closer than what people expect. I'm gonna have Buffalo win 24-20 because I think Denver they have a solid defense. Like their defense is really good, where they could hold some pretty good teams to a few points. I mean, they did it with the Chiefs. Who else did they do it with? They did it with the Falcons, even though they missed the playoffs. I mean, they only held the Chargers to 23 points. I know they held the Bucks to only 7. In the like at the start of the season. So yeah, I have the Bills winning. I think it was 24-20. I said so. Yeah, I have the Bills winning, and they will advance to play the the Ravens, not the Chargers. So yeah, they will advance to play the Ravens. So now we're gonna move into the NFC side now of things in the playoffs. So we're gonna start with the Rams and the Vikings. The Rams, I mean, they were kind of just the Rams team they were last year, except they were a little bit more banged up this season than they were last year. Puka's still good. Matthew Stafford, he's still got some has something left in the tank still. Um, yeah, Cooper Cup, he's still good. Even though I do think he's gonna decline pretty soon. But but yeah, Rams are good now. The Vikings, they proved me wrong. Even though I did predict Sam Darnold could have a career year in Minnesota, which that did happen because he has been spectacular. He's had a couple of like off games though with the Vikings, but other than that, he has been really good for them. Obviously, Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league, arguably. Even though I mean, Jamar Chase did have a better year than him, but yeah, Justin Jefferson's arguably one of the best wide receivers. Jordan Addison's good. T.J. Hawkinson, uh, Aaron Jones, and yeah, their defense is kind of underrated. Like I'll give them that, even though I'm not a fan of the Vikings. Their defense is really underrated. Now going into this game though, they're playing a very high-powered offense in the Rams. So even though the Rams they have a good offense, I'm gonna give the edge to the Vikings only because even though that year that they went 13-4, they won a bunch of just one score games. But I feel like this year they're gonna get it done and they're gonna advance. Which, yeah, I'm gonna pick the Vikings to win. 30-24. I have a feeling this will be a shootout, definitely, because both offenses are good. It just depends on which team you're gonna see that day. Because the Vikings, you could see them when they played against the Lions, and if that's the case, then they're definitely gonna lose. But yeah, I just don't see them, you know, showing up like that against like they did against the Lions. And the Rams defense also. I mean, the Rams defense can make some plays, but they're not that good in my opinion. So yeah, I'll have the Vikings to win 30-24. So yeah, we move on now to the Buccaneers and the Commanders. The Bucks, I mean, Baker Mayfield is playing even better than he was last year. Um, Bucky Irving, the rookie, he's playing good. You got Mike Evans who hit 1,000 yards again. Even like I don't know why we let that happen, but good for him, I guess. But yeah, they don't have Chris Godwin though, unfortunately. Maybe they could get him back. I don't know if they will or not, but yeah, they don't have Chris Godwin, unfortunately. So hold on. But yeah, the Bucks are good, but the only problem I do have with them is they struggle in games that they probably should not. Like, there's a week where they beat the Chargers 40-17, and then there's a week where they barely put away the Saints, barely put away the or no, they lose the Cowboys. Like, I don't know. It depends. It was like Minnesota. It depends what team you're gonna see that game. Now, with the Commanders, they fully exceeded a lot of people's expectations. They exceeded mine, even though I did have them to go 9-8. I did have Jaden Daniels playing well. I didn't have him as the rookie of the year, which I mean, if y'all want me to do a playoff or no, not a playoff, react into like my season predictions or whatever, then I'll do that. But yeah, Jaden Daniels playing like a rookie of the year, has like 31 total TDs, 9 picks. So yeah, these teams, they're very similar. Like Commanders, they also lose games that they shouldn't, have close games with teams they shouldn't either. But this is a tough one, but I am gonna give the edge to the Commanders only because I think they're playing their best football at the right time because they're on, if I believe, a 5 game win streak. I They're playing their best football like right now, and this is the time that they need to. So I'm gonna give the Commanders to win this one. This is gonna be a close one too. I'm gonna have them win 27-20. And yeah, Washington will advance to the next round. And now we move on to the Eagles and the Packers. So the Eagles, they're kind of a weird team this year because fans really hate their coach, but they're 14-3 and they're really good this year, even though a lot of fans do not like their coach. And there was some like drama between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, but yeah, I mean this team's good. I don't really see why fans. Well, I guess I can get why they want Nick Sirianni fired, but this team is good. Like with him, without him, I don't know. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, he's good. Saquon, I mean, he's the best running back in the league this year. And yeah, so Packers now. The Packers, they were kind of also a weird team this year because they were, I don't know, they just have games that like they shouldn't lose, but they just do. Like, if I'm not wrong, what did they go in the division this year? If I'm not, they went 1-5 in the division this year. See, I didn't actually know that. They went 1-5 in the division. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, they almost went 0-6, which that is crazy that all five of their losses have been in the division. But yeah, the Packers. I mean, I still think Jordan Love's a great quarterback, but he has games where he just looks lost. So I'm gonna go with Philadelphia here to win this. I'm gonna say they win it like 30-17, and I think Saquon, he's gonna play a huge factor into that. I still think Hurts is gonna have a good game, but Saquon, it's his first, no, second playoff game in his career. Well, technically third, but second like playoff experience. Second time making the playoffs. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah. So we will now move on to the divisional rounds. So we're gonna start back in the AFC. We're gonna have the Chiefs and the Chargers. So the Chiefs, even though they're like, I think they're 15-2, they don't, even though they play their best football in the playoffs, they still have not looked like a good team this year, even though they're 15-2. The Chargers, I mean, I just talked about them earlier. Justin Herbert's good, Lad McConkey's good, and J.K. Dobbins with the resurgence of a year. So this game is a tough one to pick because a lot of people, I mean, they say the Chiefs cheat, and I mean, I guess I don't really like the Chiefs, but if I had to pick who I think is gonna win, I'm gonna say the Chiefs. Even though I mean I want to say the Chargers so bad, but I'm just gonna say the Chiefs will win this one, 16-10, I guess. I'll just say they win it 16-10, and they'll move on to the AFC Championship game where we now move into yeah, this is gonna be a good game. Bills and the Ravens. Both teams they're just exactly the same. Defense could be a little inconsistent at times. Offenses are really good. But this prediction may shock. Well, okay, no, I'm not gonna say may shock, but may shock you. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Ravens here. Now, the only reason why I'm gonna pick the Ravens is because They played earlier in the season, and James Cook was boxed. Josh Allen was not playing well all night. He got injured, I think. And yeah, the Ravens won 38-10. Now, even though the Ravens they don't have good experience in the playoffs, which they didn't in the AFC Championship game, I feel like they're gonna get it done here in the divisional, and yeah, they're gonna win and advance for a rematch with the Chiefs. So Ravens over Bills. So now we move on to the Lions and the Commanders. So now we move on to the Lions and the Commanders. The Commanders I just talked about earlier. Jaden Daniels, good. Brian Robinson, good. Terry McLaurin, good also. So yeah, I feel like this though will be a really good game. Lions also, I mean, they're what are they? Are they also 15-2? They are. I didn't I didn't realize they were also 15-2. So yeah, the Lions. I feel like they're playing definitely better football than the Chiefs. But yeah, the only problem though I am having with the Lions in this game is that their defense is really banged up. Now, Aiden Hutchinson, there's a chance he could return, but I don't think he will at all this playoffs. Like even the Super Bowl if they make it, which I mean you'll see my Super Bowl prediction pretty soon in this video. So yeah, the only concern I have with the Lions is their defense, but I think with David Montgomery coming back and just the dynamic duo with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, I feel like the Lions are gonna get it done. See both defenses for Lions and Commanders, their defenses aren't that good, even though the Commanders did get Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints. I still don't think both defenses are really that good at all. Lions, I mean, I do think the Lions are good at defense, but they're just too banged up right now. So I'm gonna pick though the Lions to win. I'm gonna say though this is gonna be a shootout. I'm gonna say 33-27. It just depends though which Jaden Daniels you're gonna get because there's games he's struggled and then there's games where he is popped off. So I'm gonna have the Lions though to advance to the NFC Championship game once again, and yeah, they will play either the Eagles or the Vikings, which now we jump into that game now. All right. So, Eagles and the Vikings just talked about both teams earlier. Now, this is a tough game because it just depends on what team is going to show up. But if I had to choose which team I think is going to show up, I'm going to take the Eagles only because the Vikings they've had too many inconsistent games and I don't know how much I guess you could say trust I put into Sam Darnold picking him here. Even though Eagles have had a lot of close games, especially with the Panthers. Who else? The Jaguars, the Browns, like earlier in the season, the Saints, and I mean they lost the Falcons as well. But I don't feel like they were as good at that time. They were a little bit more banged up at that time, but I think they're definitely more healthy now. And yeah, I'm gonna have though the Eagles to win this and move on. I don't think I ever did a score prediction. I'll say the Eagles win this. You know what? I'm gonna say the Eagles win this 28 to 17. I'm gonna say they win 28-17 because I don't know what Sam Darnold we're gonna get in the divisional round. So yeah, I have the Eagles to win and they will advance to play the Lions, in which this should be a really good matchup. So we now move on to the AFC and NFC championships. So starting with the AFC, we got the Chiefs and the Ravens. We got another matchup with Lamar and Mahomes. I used to kind of like watching them, but I don't know. I just don't like watching Chiefs football this year, which I mean, some of you can probably get me, some of you probably can't, but yeah, Lamar Mahomes. I mean, I talked about both teams earlier. This one's tough, but even though this could be all for nothing, and Mahomes could just go on win the Super Bowl for a third time, and yeah, this entire playoffs is like just I don't know broken. But yeah, I'm though gonna take the Ravens to win the AFC Championship game. I just think Lamar has been the better quarterback, even though the Chiefs' defense is really good, and Do I think the Chiefs will give him some tough time this game? Yes, I do think Lamar is gonna have a tough time with this game, but I think he's gonna just be able to get it done and win this game. I'll say 24-20. It's definitely gonna be a close game, but I think just the offense is gonna, give the Ravens the edge here, and they will advance to the Super Bowl for the first time in the Lamar Jackson era. So, yeah, I think the Ravens will make the Super Bowl, which we now go on to the Lions and the Eagles. Again, this is a tough team. You got a 14-3 team, and you have a 15-2 team. This is also tough, but this is tough. I actually don't know. Okay, so I've been sat here for like 2 minutes just trying to decide on what to pick here, but I think I have come to the conclusion now that I'm gonna take. I'm sorry, Lions fans. I'm gonna take the Eagles to win this game. As much as I want the Lions to win this and go to the Super Bowl, I just don't think they will. I think Saquon will just run all over the defense because Saquon, he's the best running back in the league, like definitely. And yeah, I feel like Jalen Hurts, even though he did have a concussion, I feel like he's gonna be. He's gonna be good enough. And he, with all the rest he's gone, I feel like he's gonna come out in the playoffs, and yeah, he's gonna pop off in the playoffs. I definitely feel like he will. There's a definite chance he can, and I do think he will. So I'm gonna have the Eagles though to win this over the Lions. Sorry, Lions fans. Second year in the row, you lose the NFC Championship game. I'm gonna have the Eagles to win this. This is gonna be another shootout. I'm gonna say 29-26. Eagles win on a last second field goal. So yeah, Eagles win, and now we come to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. That Ravens versus the Eagles. This is a tough game as well. See, these teams already played early in the season, and the Eagles won and pretty easily. But yeah, Lamar playing. Lamar still played good that game, and yeah, this is gonna be another tough game to decide. So I might have to think about this one right here. So I've been just sat here for another like 2 minutes or whatever, trying to decide on who's winning this game. And I think I've now come to my final pick. The Super Bowl champion, I think, will be the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, Ravens fans. I want Lamar to win this, and even though he's playing like an MVP, I just feel like what comes down to this game is defense. And the Ravens, they don't like their defense is still good, but their defense, it has had times where it's gotten exposed and like badly. And I think right here is where it will. And the Eagles, they have a really good defense, which I don't think will get exposed like how I think the Ravens will. And the Eagles, they have a good offense. Jalen Hurts is good. Saquon Barkley is good. AJ Brown's good. Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and yeah, I just think everything's gonna come together for that team, and they're just gonna click. Like I just have a feeling they're gonna click this entire playoffs, and that will eventually lead them to the Super Bowl. And I think they're gonna win it 30-20. I think 30-26. I'm gonna predict them to win the Super Bowl 30-26. So the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Yeah, congrats, Eagles fans. Sorry, Ravens and Lions fans. And yeah, sorry, Ravens and Lions fans. I definitely do want y'all to win the Super Bowl, but if I just had to, if I had to predict, I just feel like the Eagles are, one of the better teams in this playoffs. They're definitely a top three team. Yeah, I would say they're definitely a top three team in this playoffs. Probably like four actually. Now that I think about it, but yeah, I have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, and yeah, this was fun predicting these. I can't wait to see how wrong I am. I feel like this playoffs, I definitely did predict a lot more games that other people would predict differently. But yeah, this was fun doing this. I can't wait to see how wrong I am. And yeah, I guess you could say back on YouTube. If y'all want me to keep posting, I will. Since I do have a capture card now, and I can pretty much record and just edit like right here. Normally, I would have to, like go somewhere or no, like go in another room or something to edit. Now I don't have to anymore, so making YouTube videos is a lot easier to do. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and yeah, this is Biscuit, and I'm out. Classic intro. Peace.